We lost. True indeed. We lost. Lord knows we lost. I'm about to say something to make you not like me. You might catch feelings and you might want to fight me, but I don't really care, I'ma say it anyway. Why most comedic guys seem soft and gay. I'm not saying all, but a large amount. Have you ever heard the words that come out of their mouth? Yeah, they cuss like a sailor, but they follow my eye. They carry oaks and wear makeup and thinking it's hot. I think they need to stop, this is a new era. I wonder if the pharaohs of a war mascara. It probably was a death mask misunderstood. Don't let them D-boys catch them up in the hood. Why NOI? Stop patrolling the block. We get shot by the cops and we calling the cops. Come on, y'all was on another level. The black man was God, the white man the devil. Now the white man, or better yet the European, and the Mars and the bean pies are sold by Koreans. I'm talking what I'm seeing, I'm just a reporter. How you call a woman to be and you got a daughter. Talking about the Hebrews, the demonized women, and choose Esau over brothers and Kemet. Probably timid, soft, and scared to fight. Yelling and wearing spikes, trying to fake me out right. But you can't fool me, cause you make a little noise. Cause deep inside, y'all some scared little boys. If you really wanna ride, let's take it to the beast. Get revenge for our people killed by like these. Yeah, right. Y'all ain't busting the grape. It appears that you fear you in love with hate. Correct me if I'm wrong, we might all don't get along. European psychology got us all gone. You think we divided? Cause I wear fez and she wear oak and he wear dreads. But the vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to wake you up and get you out of the bed. We lost. To get you out the bed. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to spread love and get you out the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. Oh yeah, I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. Y'all think we divided cause I got a fez and you wear and she wear dreads. Y'all think we divided cause I wear fez. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head. And she wear and he got dreads. More need to wake up too, so I'ma wake up you. So we can get together, do what we gotta do. We ain't done much since the prophet left. More standing on law, we still in this mess. Haven't built the town to hold us down. Paperwork can't fear, we looking like clowns. Never been to the temple, claim we follow the prophet. But I follow the prophet, I understand life. People in the temple, time to hit the streets. Everybody do their part, we ain't getting relief. The murder rate can be more than just gone crazy. Dope fiends ODing in the hood on the daily. Weed waste with chemicals, you drink and serve. We fighting over information, we got some nerve. To say that we conscious, we might know a little something, but we just frontin' cause we haven't done nothing, we lost. You think we divided cause I got a fez and she got a cross and he got dreads. You think we divided cause I got a fez and he got an and he got dreads. You think we divided cause I got a fez? Yeah. Islam. I'm trying to be your friend, man. That's right. Trying to be your friend, bro. Help me out. Meet me halfway. Come on. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. Now let me be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. You let me be your friend. Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm all about love, truth, peace, and freedom till I return to Allah. One day we gon' meet him. I'm all about justice, that's the focus of the message. Sometimes Asiatics make me wanna forget the lessons. I be all up in my passion from all the Moorish passion. All things considered, I start laughing. A grown man with a ponytail, another calling us Neanderthal, and he all I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. You a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. Family, see y'all tonight, 9:30. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. Welcome to another edition of Morse World TV. I'm your host, Brother to Harker Bay. Are you in the building? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me? Is everybody in the building? Can you hear me? Check one, check two. Let me see. Look how I look. I'm looking real quick. Let me see. Oh, y'all can hear me. How y'all doing? Family, you know what I found out today? I found out, I got you, Counselor. Thank you to my brother, Counselor Cone. Counselor Cone, thank you. Listen, on the title, I left out an O. There's 100,000 Ukrainians coming to the United States. And we're going to talk about that, family. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Thank you for your sevens in the building. Thank you for your sevens in the building. Thanks for all those who showed up today, family. It's time to shift gears. As I said before, we have exposed enough to the point where as though I think we have enough information out there. I've been saying it for weeks. I've been saying it for months. We have exposed enough that there's enough information out there that if people want to know who's the swindlers, all they got to do is follow the video and follow the trail. So it's really no need to keep on feeding or overfeeding this horse. You know what I mean? You know how people say beat a dead horse. I ain't beating nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to overfeed the horse. You know what I'm saying? Because once you overfeed, you get overweight. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to overfeed this horse. I try to switch things up a little bit. You know what I mean? You know how people say kill two birds with one stone? I try to say feed two birds with one seed. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm about life. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not about death. I'm about life. And so instead of beating a dead horse, like who would beat a dead horse? Who comes up with these terms? Instead of beating a dead horse, let's not overfeed the horse. You feel me? And then we're going to feed two birds with one stone. But fam, listen, if you are a part of what they call the black community or the quote unquote African-American community or Moorish community or black, whatever community, whatever we choose to call ourselves in this day and time, if you are part of that community, you know what I'm saying, then this will affect you in many ways, whether you know it or not. First of all, the name of this show is, matter of fact, let me get my new logo up here. In fact, let me get my new logo. The name of the show is actually that I'm going to do every day. As my grandmother would say, if the Lord spare me. And my grandma would say, if the Lord spare me, grandma, are you coming to see us tomorrow? If the Lord spare me. That's right. So if the Lord spare me, we're going to get busy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to, real quick, introduce you to the new concepts in which we're going to be talking about, right? Give me a second. So I'm going to download him real quick. Let me throw him on desktop real quick. And then I want to show you just for a moment, family. Just bear with me real quick, and then we're going to get into it. So in reality, family, I've been thinking about this for a minute. That while we, as a group of people, for the most part, the younger generation shows you where we're going to go in the next generation. So whatever the younger generation is going, it actually is going to show you where we as a people are going. And so the reason why I named this show what it is, while you were twerking, rapping and beefing. You feel me? While you were twerking, rapping and beefing. In other words, while our people are twerking, rapping and beefing,
there's some real life issues going on. You feel what I'm saying? There's some real life issues going on. And so I know y'all enjoyed the exposing and all of that. I'm done with that on Moorish World TV. I will only do that on TahakaBay.com, and I will put advertisements out here. You feel what I'm saying? I will put advertisement out here because right now, I told y'all yesterday that this medium should be utilized as a sacred medium to get through to people, because there may come a time that we may not have this information. You know what I'm saying? And so Yummy Yum said, man, F that. I love you too, Yummy Yums. Well, we won't be effing this. What we will be doing is informing you about this. While you were twerking, rapping, and beefing, real things was happening. Do you know in the last 24 hours, just around the area where I'm at, 2 people were killed? And guess what? Those 2 people look like me. Guess what? That's 2 less people that can stand on the front line and be the next doctor to save the next life. That's 2 less people that can stand on the front line and face the powers of oppression. That's 2 less people. So, Yummy Yams, while you're saying F that, you know, you got a group out here that's saying F you. And so, if you are not on level to understand what's going on and what's being perpetrated against you, then hey, that FU is going to come true. And so on this episode today, we got 3 issues that we're going to talk about, family. And I'm glad to be talking about this. It's not that I'm not. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm still going to do investigative reporting. We're still going to go to the polite case. We're still going to take Moorish World TV on the path or the road to litigation. We're still going to do them things. You know what I mean? We're still going to do them things. And we'll do some here on Moorish World TV. But for the most part, I'm sitting back watching. I'm sitting here watching as we are dancing and twerking and rapping and beefing about nothing. Whereas though my son said to me today while we were working, he said, Dad, they got 100,000 Ukrainians coming to the United States. You feel what I'm saying? And I said, wow. Now, my thing is, I am of the thought that that's fine with me. The whole problem that I have, though, is that we as a people haven't been prepared to be competitive as it relates to the land or the resources or the commerce or the economics. Javin said to replace the sacred and take your land back, our people. So the problem is not 100,000 people coming here. That's not the problem. The problem is that we have proven to be ill-equipped to deal with how unification works for any group of people. So first, before we get to that, I'm gonna get to that in a second. But before we get to that, I want to get to, if I can, let me pull it up real quick. I want to get to these murders in Baltimore, family. Yesterday, around the corner, there was a major fire around the corner. You know what I'm saying? A major fire. And that fire shut down at least about 8, 9 blocks. Just shut it down. Major fire. So fortunately, we had the fire department here today. Got our business taken care of. We got our safety things on point. So I don't know about you, family, but make sure that you're safe. Baltimore is one of the places where fires are very prevalent, very, very prevalent. So on the back end, house fires are very, very prevalent. So on the back end, we'll be talking about the 100,000 Ukrainians coming to the United States. But on the front end, I want to share with you that first up, family, do you realize that they have created a male contraceptive? And the reason why I say that is because all of this relates to the annihilation of certain groups of people. Because the first person that it's going to be marketed to is, guess who? The billboards will be very plentiful in the inner city. You know what I'm saying? It said, don't forget that the Afghans are still being brought to the United States of America as well. And we'll get to that on the back end, Abdul Sharif. But these contraceptives, these male contraceptives that are now about to be on the market, you know and I know they are going to be marketed to you. You feel what I'm saying? They're going to be marketed to you because there is an underlining reasoning behind all of these things. There's a reason that the rap music is the way it is. The most popular is kill this, kill that, and trust me, I like it myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I think those young brothers can be reached, and that energy can be reversed as I reversed mine. And so when I listen to these young brothers, you know what I'm saying? Who my guy now, Keenan? Not Kodak. My man from Chicago. He's from Chicago. Lil Durk. Lil Durk, my man now. Kodak was my man last week, Keenan. Keep up. Yeah, Kodak was my man last week. You know what I mean? But Lil Durk, that's my guy. But what I'm saying is these young children are so talented and they're so amazing. I don't know if y'all caught him. I don't know if y'all caught Lil Durk on $1 million worth of game. And how my brother, dang, I forget the brother name. My mind all over the place. What's the brother name on $1 million worth of game? Gilly. Not Gilly. Wallow told a story and broke him all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Broke him all the way down, had him feeling it. And he was talking about how we are killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And we are killing each other wholesale. And so with that being said, this demonstration that they put down, and I'm gonna screen share this with you real quick. This demonstration that they putting down for this contraceptive, I want to share with you. If you're not aware with it, educate yourself on it and educate those around you about it. But listen to this. Male contraceptive by Isaiah Maheed. A team of scientists said Wednesday that they had developed a male oral contraceptive that was 99% effective in mice and didn't cause any observable side effects. With the drug expected to enter into human trials by the end of this year. The findings will be presented at American Chemical Society spring meeting and mark a key step towards expanding birth control options, as well as responsibilities for men. Ever since the female birth control was first approved in the 1960s, researchers have been interested in the male contraceptives. Medical doctor Abdullah Al-Noman, a graduate student at University of Minnesota, who will present the work, told AFP. Multiple studies showed that men are interested in sharing the responsibility of birth control with their partners. He said, but until now, there have only been two effective options available: condoms and vasectomies. Let me stop there. Family, have we ever thought about the responsibility that it takes to raise children? Have we ever thought about that we could just be better fathers, better husbands? Have we ever thought about that we don't have to go into recreational sex? Have we ever thought about that? I don't want to preach at you too much, but I'm just saying there's something going on to stop the reproduction. You feel what I'm saying? There's something going on to stop the reproduction. Somebody say everything is not a conspiracy, just like brothers were saying the jab will kill millions. Eric Bond, we haven't seen the effect of what the jab does yet. It's not over yet. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm telling you, I don't call this a conspiracy. I'm telling you that we as a people have been targeted in many ways. And this quite possibly could be one of the other ways. Let me tell you something. The oppression and being targeted as a group of people has never been predicated upon something that is obvious. Do you know that? How have you studied history? It's never something that's obvious. It's always predicated upon you being responsible. You see? And so when they did the Tuskegee research, these Tuskegee men went in there to be responsible, to be a part of the medical development of another drug. And they came out with syphilis. So many times, even in Johns Hopkins University, do you know in Johns Hopkins University, they used to kidnap people off the street? And this is not legend. They used to kidnap people off the streets of Baltimore. And they would run tests and all sorts of drug trials on human beings. Today, in the back of small newspaper, local here in Baltimore, they will pay you to take drugs at Johns Hopkins right now. They actually got a vaccine. They got a vaccine, a COVID vaccine pill. And they're running trials on the COVID vaccine pill right now in Baltimore, Johns Hopkins University. Now, the point that I'm making is that no, everything is not a conspiracy, but we should be aware as to what is to come because it's not there yet. And if you ain't aware as to what's to come, once it's here, how do you respond to it? Come on, it's time for us to wake up. That's the purpose of this show right here. The purpose of this show is to let you know that we need to get past the twerking, the rapping and the beefing and see what's really going on. Now, that's talking about the contraceptive. You know what I mean? That's talking about the contraceptive. I got 3 topics right here that I'm going to be talking about. The contraceptive for men is one of them. Now, that's easy to feed to the people. That's easy. You know what's hard to feed the people? It's hard to teach people what it is to be a father and a mother and to be responsible. So it's a little bit easier to say, pop this pill. Everything in America is a quick fix. Everything in America is a microwave solution. Pop it in, pop it out. Pop it in, pop it out. Pop it in, pop it out. Everything in the United States of America is a microwave solution. When are we gonna put ourselves in a position to long-term solution? Like fix the people. I mean, punishing twerking by beating the twerkers with a beating. But fix the people. How do you fix the people? Teach the people to fix themselves. Teach the people the joys of fatherhood and motherhood. Every day, my children are with me. One of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, they with me. I mean, every day. I enjoy fatherhood. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. And my sons are so respectful, so intelligent. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing to me. I wonder because, you know what I mean, I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. I wonder where they get it from. And it's just amazing, the joys of fatherhood, to watch the seed turn into a baby, to a little boy, because I got 5 sons. You follow me? But teach people the value of parenting. Things like that, the value of life. That's what we're talking about. But nah, we rather give a quick pill. You know what I mean? We rather give a quick pill. But aligned with that quick pill, we got the influence of the hip hop culture on weak minds. I remember back in the day, right? Long time ago. I ain't going front. Back in the day, when Ice Cube them was talking about, oh, English 800, that's my brand. Drink it in the cup for the 40 or can. I couldn't wait to test out OE 800. You hear me? I couldn't wait. When NWA was talking about Old English 800, I couldn't wait. Because on this side of the United States, all I knew was that the older people, they drink Coke 45, Slit Smart Liquor Bull, yeah, in Black Label. Anybody, you gotta be old to know about that stuff. You gotta be old. But when NWA came out, I was a young boy. And they started talking about OE 800. Good goodness gracious, couldn't wait. And I remember when they started. I remember when they went from we used to call them white boys. Anybody know what white boys are? Anybody know? They. Oh, we're gonna still keep it a buck. Although we're gonna talk about the news of the day, we're gonna still keep it a buck. Anybody know what white boys are? I'm gonna show you what white boys are. When I was young, they were smoking white boys. Now, a white boys was a little joint. My uncle and them, Uncle Elliot. I had an uncle named Uncle Elliot. And they be hiding. They wasn't as crazy as this generation is. They was hiding, smoking weed in the joint. But we called it a white boy, right? Smoking them white boys. And that's what they used to do. And that weed used to smell some kind of good back in the day. It stink today. But it used to smell some kind of good, like an incense or something. You know what I mean? And they be hiding, smoking weed. And we be smelling it, you know what I mean? But we little boys, we act like we don't see it because we have respect, you know what I mean? Yeah, tops and zigzags. That's right, Mark Anthony. Tops and zigzags. So we little children, so we can't get in grown folk business like children today. But we smelled it. You know what I mean? And they came in little yellow bags, little yellow vanilla bags. Y'all remember them? Anyway, when hip hop got the popping, they started talking about blunts. And they started talking about Philly blunts. And man, oh man, I never liked weed. I tell you the truth. I puffed it, but I never inhaled. You hear what I'm talking about? But anyway, when they started talking about blunts in the rap music, they sold this in rap music. Press 7 if you was around. They sold this weed culture in rap music. They sold it. They sold the loose woman culture in rap music. You can't tell me nothing. They sold that culture to our people. And our people was the doorway in which that culture came through. The loose woman twerking, that was sold through rap music. The smoking of blunts, crazy as if you ain't got no mind. I mean, they smoke weed as if it's the last thing on earth. I mean, in most hoods, they smoke weed one after another after another. I'm telling you, here in Baltimore, you can walk down the street and they smoke blunts like cigarettes here. I don't know about where you at. You know what I'm saying? I got you, Gerald. Today you done. But they smoke blunts like cigarettes. And I'm not saying that weed is illegal. I'm not being judgmental or condemning anything. I'm just telling you what it is. You know what I mean? Just like the Baltimore bikes say, just like selling homosexuality and murder. Exactly. They sell this stuff through hip hop. So that's another way of our annihilation. See, once you can separate the mind from its morals and principles, then you already did. Y'all remember that song? GS, it started in rock and roll first. Rock and roll didn't affect us. I said they sold it through hip hop to us. They couldn't sell weed and all of that weird stuff that Europeans was doing through rock and roll. I mean, they couldn't sell it to us because only a small percentage of us listen to rock and roll. But, and I'm talking about heavy metal rock and roll, you know, that crazy stuff. I'm saying they sold it to us through rap music. Why? Because I was a victim of it. I was a victim of it. I told you I couldn't wait to get OE. Anybody remember when Red Bull came out? Red Bull tastes like poison. But man, let me tell you, couldn't wait to try Red Bull. And I ain't talking about the one that'll get you your wings. I'm talking about the Red Bull in the 22-ounce can. You know what I'm talking about? I was young and influenced with this nonsense. And they sold that through rap music. They sold that through rap music. You feel me? They sold it through rap music. But that is one of the ways that we was annihilated. And we continue to be annihilated. So we're dead people walking. We're just dead people walking. Many of us are just dead people walking at this point. And so that's one. You follow me? That's one. The next thing is they find other ways, whether it's through TV, whether it's through the internet, whether it's through injections of any kind, or whether it's through castrating you. Because birth control for man is equivalent of castration. Because the natural order of things is reproduction. But if you instead of teaching or trying to help people to be responsible, they teach people that responsible is to castrate yourself. I'm just saying. This may not be a conspiracy, but I'm just saying everything is coming in and rushing in us at 1,000 at a time. The gun culture in our community, as I was talking about, the gun culture in our community was popularized, if I'm saying it right, popularized. The gun culture became popular through music. Y'all don't remember when it came popular? Right after Scarface. Right after Scarface, everybody wanted to act like Tony Montana. Everybody wanted to act like Tony Montana. You sit in the chair. Who put this together? Me. That's who. Who do I trust? Me. That's who. That. I'm working up to where I'm getting to about the 100,000 Ukrainians that are coming in this country. The 100,000 Ukrainians that's coming in this country, they're coming united, and they're coming looking for something better than they had back home. You're here. You have been spoiled. You are comfortable with a little bit of nothing. And the way that they're going to raise up really fast is that they're going to put their resources together first, starting with the talents that they have. Then they're going to put together their resources, starting with the finance that will be dedicated to them to get on their feet. They're going to invest in themselves. And investing in themselves, they're going to extract from who's ever around them. And that's the natural way of things in humanity. Humanity moves on a vibration that I extract from here and bring it here. That's just what happens. Now, the principle, look at this. Because the U.S. government helps them, Goofy. Now, I'm going to block you. I already said they are going to utilize the resource that is supplied to them. So now I'll be Goofy and you'll be bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'll be goofy and you'll be bye-bye. Okay? Bye-bye. Goofy just said bye-bye. Anyway, I'll be goofy and you'll be bye-bye. Bye-bye. But with that being said, one thing about us, people like Alcatone, and they get 5 years with no taxes and by the U.S. government. Let me tell you something. It's many people in our community that has been getting food stamps for 28 years. I know people that get food stamps after generation. Ain't nobody take that food stamp and try to flip it into a hustle and to build a conglomerate or to build some type of anything from that. You know what they did? Many of our people, they went and got some scrimp. They went and got some scrimp. They got some little Debbies. They got some steaks. And every month, they get some scrimp. They get some steak. You know what I mean? They get some scrimp. They get some steak. And they utilize that as not as a resource, but as a luxury. Crab legs, there you go. They use it as a luxury. See, the same people that will come over here and try to make their situation better, and I'm not telling you what to do, they will get food stamps and they would take that money and buy stuff from Sam's Club and put it in a store and sell it to you. You feel me? They would take food stamps, shop in Sam's Club, and sell it to you in your neighborhood. Sell you a ramen noodle for $2 that costs 50 cents. You follow me? That costs 50 cents. So what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to employ anybody to do anything like that. What I'm saying is that we as a people need to understand not only what unity is, but what unified resources is. What is unified resources? You see, because I'm going to tell you, you better get ready. You better get ready. Because not, see, 100,000 Ukrainians coming to America, it's not even, that's a drop in the bucket for real. It's not a big deal. But what's the biggest deal that we're facing is that we are caught up into nothingness. We're caught up into nothingness. You know, I considered all the people that I had to put under the bus. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the comment section over here. I considered all the people that I had to put under the bus. And like last night, it dawned on me, right? Real talk. Let me talk to you. Last night, it dawned on me. And shout out to the brother that was on that called in yesterday and said, you know, the brother that called in and he was feeling down or feeling bad and this and that and the third. But you know what I mean? Later that day, I understood what he was saying. He was out of order in the way that he was saying it. And he didn't understand the context in which I was addressing these crazy, lower self, devilish people. However, on the flip side, I understand. With the, I think his name was Josh or something. I understand. What really need to take place is, y'all don't want to hear this. Javon said, I could say so much, but I'm like almost exhausted. I feel you, brother. What really need to take place in our community, we need a reform. I mean, we need a reform. I consider myself as a reformer. I just came to me last night. Not your reformer. My thing is to get you to think so you can save yourself. But that's what we need. We need one to stir the pot. We need one to shake the tree and see what falls out. You know what I mean? Somebody say the big deal is 100,000 Ukrainians aggravating their ideas, skills, and resources to obtain tangible needs and interests. I agree, Abdul Sharif. But the biggest problem, Abdul Sharif, is us. It's us. We are supposed to be competing for what you just said. We are supposed to be competing to impose or influence the world with our ideas. We are supposed to be competing with our skill. We are supposed to be competing to obtain our tangible needs and interests. We are supposed to be competing. So we can't get mad at the 100,000, get mad at the million who refuse to compete. We're supposed to be competing. Most of us have gotten so comfortable that we don't even want to even plant a little small garden on our kitchen shelf to grow some herbs or something. We have gotten so comfortable that we can go straight into the grocery store and grab it off the shelf and swipe a card that we won't even attempt. We won't even attempt. We don't even see the need to attempt to grow anything that we consume. You feel me? We don't even see a need. So that's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is us as a people. Not you as an individual, but as a people. Because now, when the 100,000 Ukrainians get here, they are going to compete. They are going to compete. The Hispanics that have came over the border, they are here to compete. The Russians and Europeans and the Indians and Pakistanians, they are here to compete. We are here to entertain and be entertained. We are here to entertain and to be entertained. Let me tell you something. I was about to go live one day. I was up in Catonsville, Baltimore County. I was up in Catonsville. And for the last few election seasons, I'm noticing these big signs with Pakistani or Indian faces on it saying, vote for, vote for. These are Pakistani and Indian faces. For the last 10 years, I've watched the Pakistanians take because you got to remember, the Pakistanians are the Muslims, right? The Pakistani of the Muslims, the Indians are the Hindus, right? And this is why it's very important that we understand this. I mean, we understand this. I sit there and watch for the last 10 years. The Pakistanians, they took, it was an outdoor, what was it? It was an outdoor greenhouse. Keenan, do you remember where we used to live at, right across from the 7-Eleven where Pat's at right now? Yeah. Do you remember when that was a greenhouse? You was little then. It was a greenhouse.
It looked like on the side.
Yeah, it was on the side.
Yeah.
So it was a greenhouse. The Pakistanians, it was an open greenhouse, which means you could walk right in and buy plants, buy manure, buy anything, whatever. The Pakistanians, they ultimately brought that whole big building. It wasn't even a building. They turned it into a building. And today it's a big mosque in the heart of Catonsville. It's a big mosque. It's a restaurant in there. And next door is Pat's Pizza. Now, in another part of Catonsville, where I seen this sign at, and I'm seeing them every election season, I'm getting to my point. They have a big mosque over there. They got a school over there. This is in the past 10 years. They got a school over there. They got a mosque over there. They got 2 grocery stores over there. 2. And they have their people running for political office. Stop right there. The first time that you or I start talking about politics, the first thing that someone says that think they know something, they say, oh man, politicians are crooked. So you're saying if you become the politician, you're going to be crooked? Man, we at the last days and times. So we need to try to attack this problem from all angles. From all angles. So the first thing, oh, I don't believe in politics. Guess what? I'm looking over here in Catonsville before you get into Colombia that the Indians and the Pakistanis, they are united to control their own destiny through politics, but also through economics, but also through education. You understand what I'm saying? They control their own. They control their own through every medium that the United States have out for them. They control their own. They're not sitting around. They're not sitting around talking about, oh, politics are wicked. No, they saying that, okay, you bringing some politics in and you're being wicked. Let's put our numbers together, get you out the way and move me in. And then we deal with the rest when we at the table. This is right here in Catonsville, Baltimore. As a matter of fact, I'll go take a sign of it tomorrow because I got to drop my car up there at the shop. I'll take a sign of it tomorrow and show you. And this is what I'm saying. So the 100,000 of Ukrainians coming here, they are going to do what comes natural to them. And it doesn't come natural to you. That's the problem. See, I know everybody gonna get mad at me again. I know they're gonna get mad at me because I'm always looking at us. One thing you can't say about me, is that I waver. I'm always looking at us. I mean, I'm always looking at us. I'm never, when I talk about scandal and I talk about scheming and I talk about scamming, I look at us scamming us. When I look at where we need to go, I look at our shortcomings. Because the more that we look outside of us, the less chance that we have to fix us. The less chance that we have to fix us. So now, not only do you have, in my community, I was telling my son, I said, listen, I think you should start a landscaping business. I told my son, because he like me, nah, you ain't gonna just treat us any greasy way and punching the clock, and we're not doing that. We're just not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you one that have to work for yourself. And I said, I think you should start a landscaping business. I said, because in our community, it's a bunch of older people. It's a bunch of older people that have big yards and need them tended to. And I say, one thing that I noticed is that the Hispanic grass cutters don't come around no more. They don't come around no more. You know what they took and did? They went into construction. You feel me? They went into construct. Let me see, the inside threat before we can defend ourselves from outside. Exactly, Abdul Sharif. That's what I'm about. I mean, people like Brother Polite make it bad for us. Absolutely. I agree, brother. Because he gives the world a bad impression on what we really stand for. But anyway, most of the Hispanic grass cutting crews, they moved on now. They're not in my neighborhood no more. They used to be. I live in the inner city, but you have to understand Baltimore. Need some water. You got some water, Keenan? I live in the inner city, right? I live in the city, but not the inner city. I actually have a yard, a pretty decent sized backyard, whatever. But most row houses, like Unity Hall that we converted into Unity Hall, has very little grass, and because that's the inner city. But with that being said, the door is wide open right now in Baltimore because most of the Hispanics that people call taking the jobs, they are taking jobs, but they're doing it in another way. Their children right now have grown up. See, this is a next generation of Hispanics, if you will. In other words, this generation here has blue cards or green cards. In other words, they were born here. So they got a social security card. And so they're everywhere you should be. They're driving the big yellow trucks. It's some in my car. They're driving the big yellow trucks that fix the road, the machines. And when I look down there at those who are driving the big excavators, they're Hispanic guys. And guess what we doing? After 400 years, guess what we doing? Flagging traffic. The young brothers, old brothers, sisters out there flagging traffic. You know what that tells me? That tells me that the Hispanic group had a plan. And they continue to work their plan. We as a group of people have not concocted a plan. Cryptonomics say federal government paying them Ukrainians 1.5 trillion. They already know that chemical warfare being used over there, so they're just writing the check now. Absolutely. Absolutely. But with that being said, will this in the next 100 shows that I do on why we were twerking, will that give us some type of idea of the gravity of the situation that we face? Somebody say, I have a plan, nobody called me. I think they linked the chemicals to Biden's son somehow. Crazy. Whatever the case may be, family, it is time for us to realize that we have been targeted. It's time to realize that you're going to have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's time to realize that this YouTube thing, don't send me no videos about these crazy people because they're saying anything about me. I don't even care at this point. You know, I'm just looking at when I left out here yesterday, how the whole block was beat down with fire. The whole block. That my wife go down the street and have to see a dead body of somebody look like her. You know what I'm saying? And we sitting here, I mean, on YouTube. I'm just trying to tell you what to watch out for. But we sitting here on YouTube. You know what I mean, that's why when people say it's beefing, man, it ain't beefing, man. I see beefing every day. I see beefing every day. This is not beefing. You know what I'm saying? But it's time to move on. And it's time to move forward. It's time to move on and it's time to move forward. Because right now, the rubber is about to hit the road. Watch this real quick. The rubber is about to hit the road. Give me a second. Let me pull you up on this. Let me read this to you. If you ain't in the know, you will be today. You know what I'm saying? The rubber is about to meet the road. Screen share this. There you go. Waiting to rock and roll. This is from Reuters in Brussels. The United States will announce 1 billion. You hear what I say? That's a B in billion. You hear that? The United States will announce 1 billion in humanitarian aid to Ukraine. In other words, the United States was sitting on $1 billion that could solve many of problems that we face as a people being disenfranchised and oppressed. Y'all hear what I just said? Many people ain't going to click on this show because we're not talking about someone who is talking about someone who is talking about someone who is talking about someone. But this is the real deal. The United States will announce $1 billion in humanitarian aid to Ukraine and plan to accept up to 100,000 Ukraine refugees, a senior administrative official say. Now listen to this. The United States is launching the European Democratic Resilience Initiative. You hear what I just said? People say, why you call people European? Because they of European origin. And the European constituents stick together. The United States is also launching the European Democratic Resilience Initiative, not the African Democratic Resilience, not the Afro-American Resilience, not the Black People Resilient Initiative. You have been targeted and disenfranchised. And you mean tell me we're going to sit back here and we're going to be entertained? Man, they can say what they want about me. I'll talk about that on TaHakaBay.com. But this YouTube medium, we're going to talk about some real stuff from this point forward. $320 million in funding to support media freedom. Family, if you say the wrong word right now, your media freedom is out the door from YouTube. Social resistance. Can you imagine the United States dedicating $320 million for us to perpetuate social resistance? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And human rights in Ukraine and nearby countries. I'm going to say it again. The United States is also launching the European Democratic Resilience Initiative with $320 million. Now this is the one that really should bother you. Every time you pay a tax, you are the biggest consumer. That's your money. That's your money. The government don't have no money without the people. And who is the biggest consumer? Yeah, they can make money out of thin air, of course. But we are known to be the biggest consumer. So whose money is it? And you don't have a pathway through politics, through economics, through any other medium to get your finances back, and it's being shipped to fight causes that you yourself face here. Man, we got a problem, Houston. We got a problem. We got a problem. That's your money. Man, our people stuck on partying, man. We stuck on twerking. We stuck on arguing. We stuck on da-da-da-da. Man, listen, I'm gonna lay the facts out and keep it moving. That's what I'm gonna do. If somebody is scamming, I'm gonna lay the facts out and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Even when I do shows like this, I'm gonna lay the facts out and keep it moving. I'm gonna lay the facts out and keep it moving. And hopefully that you understand that we need to bring together a plan. And in Baltimore, my thing is I'm willing to put together that plan against all odds and create the blueprint so other people could do that in their city. And then if all else fail, let me tell you something. If all else fail, how you gonna feed yourself? Say, for instance, the world that we know today no longer exists. The world that we know today, no longer can you just walk into a grocery store. No longer can you just swipe your ATM card. No longer can you just turn on your cell phone. Do you realize you don't control nothing? You don't control, and I don't control nothing. And we have done nothing to try to control anything. This is the problem that I have with the fake militia groups. This is the problem that I have with the fake militia group, because 5 or 10 people marching with some 22 assault rifles is not fixing nothing. It's a facade. It's a facade. It ain't fixing nothing. If you want to start a revolution, the greatest revolution is the economic revolution. And how do we know that? Because it's been proven. Well, in fact, it's been proven by people who were the weaker group to dominate in economics. The weaker group, they dominate in economics, and then they become a factor. And we are the weaker group. Admit it, see it, and fix it. The weaker group always dominate in economics in order to get some footing. That's what the European Jew did after the Holocaust, with the assistance of other European countries, of course. Do you realize right now that there's African countries that is rolling with Putin? Do you realize if we had some type of organization amongst ourselves here, that some of those resources from our African brothers could come to us? But who is going to drop some resources to some people who don't even know who they are from one year to the other? Who's sitting up here popping and twerking, pop that thing, and every time they look on the screen, somebody popping that thing and pop that thing. Who, what civilized person would say, here, take 100 million to a people that is being plastered across the screen universally as savages? And we don't even try to put ourselves in position to control media. So the images goes out, that goes out. It is what it is. But the point that I'm making is, as individuals, what can we do? First, we got to fix ourselves. I'm telling you, first we got to fix ourselves. That's one of the biggest things that we can do. Work on ourselves. And then when yourself reach where you go, yeah, let me pull it up real quick. Africans, Google it, with Putin. I'm going to just put that in. I don't know. Africans with Putin. There we go. There we go. There we go. Listen to this. Watch this. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I'm gonna put y'all up on some stuff, man. Listen. Once I get my stream thing right, we're gonna be good to go. I found out today that my stream, here we go. Russian mercenaries have landed in West Africa, pushing Putin's goals as Gremlin increasingly isolated. Hold up. They wear army fatigues with no flag and carrying. Is this a God presidential plan to attract extremists? And scribbling hundreds of Russian mercenaries have landed over the last 3 months, according to region officials, showed the source of protection. No, that's another story. Hold up. Let me get to the right story. That's another story. Let me see. African. I'm going to put African countries. I forget where I was reading the story at. There we go. I got one. This from March 16th. All right, here we go. Let me screen share this real quick. Why African countries are standing, why African countries are standing by Vladimir Putin. See this? Hold up. Where's the story? They played me. They didn't even show me the story. Hold up. Here they go. Here go one of the stories right here. This is rich countries slow walk with green finance. Here they go. Look at that. I'm going to get it to you right now. I think this is one right here. Y'all got to look the story. This wasn't one of my stories today, I don't think. But this is a story that you can look up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's not the one. This is a story you definitely can look up for yourself. Hold up. Is that it? Here we go. Africa opposes border aggression but unlikely to condemn Putin. Nairobi, Russian invasion of Ukraine has so far been met with diplomatic silence in Africa, except for a comment made by Kenya ambassador to the UN, etc., etc. Today, the future of Europe and the future of the world is at stake. Today, Ukraine calls on international community to take Kenya rejects such yearning from being pursued by force. We must complete our recovery. I'm trying to find the story. Russia strengthening its African connections. Russia has exerted increasingly influence in Burkina Faso, the Central African Republic, Mali, Libya in recent years. Some governments have used Russian mercenaries to battle insurgent groups. So that wasn't one of my stories, but what I will say is that they have mercenaries in these countries to fight insurgencies. And so now these African countries are siding with Putin and they bringing their resources over to the Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? But that's just another story. The point that I'm making is that we as a people, we are truly, truly behind the 8 ball at this point. Because if all else fails, we don't even know how to feed ourselves. And I'm not talking about you here. It may be a couple thousand people that watch this video when it's all said and done, but we have millions of people out here that's stuck into the twerk culture, that's stuck into the rap culture, that's stuck into these cultures that benefit us not anyway. It doesn't benefit us any way, shape, or form. You know, where are these Bentleys going to go? You know what I mean? You know, these rappers with all these leased cars, where are they going to go? They're going to be just as valuable as a Ford if things go left in this country. Because you know China ain't turning its back on Russia. And if China and Russia, and Putin has already said that if the United States try to stop what they're doing, they're taking it as a sign of aggression. Did you hear what I said? They're taking it as a sign of aggression. They already said that they have taken the United States helping Ukraine as a sign of aggression. That was reported, I think, last week. So while we're twerking, while we're rapping, and while we're beefing, at any given moment, your world could change. And I'm not a fear monger, and I'm not trying to put fear on you. What I'm trying to say is we got to wake up. We got to wake up. I know I'm circling the wagons here in Baltimore. And hopefully we can build something for ourselves outside of Baltimore as a backup plan. The purpose of Unity Hall is to bring people together so we can execute something of a plan for survival. This is the purpose of Unity Hall. This corner row house, listen, in Baltimore, on every corner, the corner house is the most valuable house because the corner house, it turns into the liquor store, it turns into the candy store, it turns into the grocery store, it turns into the church, or it turns into a community center. By the will of Allah and your support, we were able to get a corner unit to exercise the uniting of our people in hopes to establish ourselves something of a vehicle to sustain us if it ever went totally left. And if you are in your city and you're not paying attention to what's going on, and you're not trying to establish something, at least for your family, if things were to go totally left, then whether you are twerking, whether you are rapping, or whether you are beefing, you may as well, because you have neglected your responsibility. You have neglected your responsibility. That's why I say I can't spend too much time no more with the guys or the sisters that have been scamming, because we've been there, we've done that. So if it's just me and Keish Welsh watching as we go in and out of scenarios that we are faced with, then it will be me and Keish Welsh. It will be me and Brian Kelsley. It will be me and M. Nugent. It will be me and MJ Gibbons, Ronnie Ron, Abdul Sharif. It will just be a few of us. Because if you think that I'm going to spend time on this medium, continue to addressing these crazy people that continue to do crazy things, when we have the key to help our people to get up out of this situation, or at least have the key to help our people sustain themselves during a time of crisis, if we choose to step up, then I got to use this medium for what it's for. You know, and like I said, I'm not completely stepping away from that. You know, we're still going to the court when polite go. We're still going to follow up with ozone. We're still going to do a road to litigation. We're still going to do these things. But for real, we in serious times. If you ain't watching the news, I'm going to influence you to watching the news. I'm going to influence you to see what's being said on the BBC. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to influence you to see what's being said on Russian news, where you got to look at the translator. Let me tell you something. Don't be stuck on American news. Go to the internet and check out the news in Russia and put the translator on there. You know, somebody said to me just last week, they said, you know that the people in Russia don't even know that a war is happening. I said, where did you get that from? No, it's true. They don't even know that a war is happening. So you mean tell me that the citizens in Russia don't know that a war is happening? The person said, yes. I said, you didn't fell for the propaganda. The citizens in Russia are well informed, just as we are well informed. I said, do you know that Russia have all the trappings and grandeur that we have here? It's just a different society, but they have all the trappings of technology. Yes, they are a little bit tight knit and tight closed on how they do their thing, but nevertheless, they got all the trappings. So I had to go to YouTube and say, look here. But you have to go to a Russian YouTube channel. Most people are not familiar with Russia. They got Russian YouTube channels. Those ain't cut out yet. They can be cut off at any given moment. Surely, you got Russians right now protesting against their own government right now. But the U.S., as my man Conga Baca said, but U.S. propaganda has told us that the Russian citizens don't even know that they at war. And we so uninformed that we believe it. I'm telling you, people sell us anything. People sell us anything. And we buy it. Hook, line, and sinker. I'm telling you, family, I think it's time that we take this thing serious. I think it's time that we take this thing serious. I think it's okay to be entertained. I mean, my brother Eric said, they locked Brittany Griner up. I wouldn't be caught dead in Russia. Yeah, I couldn't rock in Russia either. I watched on Russian news called Wine on YouTube. There you go, Lady J. Thank you. You know what? At one time, I thought, that's why I say this is a critical thinking channel or platform. This channel is for critical thinkers. We can talk about anything. Thank you, Lady J. Shout out to my friend, Critical Thinker. I love you, brother. Critical thinker beyond their heels. I appreciate you. But the point that I'm making is, family, before I get out of here, while we are twerking, we actually have real issues going on. And we got to come clean, family. We got to come clean. We ain't gonna twerk and wrap ourselves up out of this situation. The only way we coming out of this situation is through an economic plan, through a social plan, and through some type of social defense. And social defense don't mean marching around with some automatic weapons acting like you a threat. Social defense don't mean running your big mouth acting like the white man is the boogeyman. F the white man, F the white man, F the white man, F the white man. That ain't doing nothing. Social defense is coming up with a plan that's an alternative to what the norm is. And that plan should be predicated upon, what are you going to eat? If the water was to stop, what are you going to drink? If you can't get no gas, how you going to travel? And if you don't have no home because they kicked in the doors, what you going to use for shelter? If you're not even considering that, this is just like the time of Noah's flood. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, we are in biblical times. And I'm going to tell you, I said, no, the flood, Noah's flood, when you talk about getting caught up in the flood, we're just talking about being unprepared. We're just talking about being in confusion. We're talking about that you have not put the protection around you called the ark. And the only protection that will save you is your way of thinking. The ark of the covenant is in the heart of the mind. And being in the ark, in the most innermost part of your being, so you can understand what's going on, will save you from the flood of confusion. Because the flood of confusion is here. It's here. It's in your rap music. It's here. See, when we look at the Bible, I look at it from a Morris science perspective. So the flood of confusion is in your rap music. It's in your TV. It's in your internet. It's in the coming out the mouth of people that look like you. It's coming out the mouth of people that don't look like you. You are a target. Many, many years and many, many methods have been used to annihilate you. And none of them have worked. None of them have worked. So now they have a perpetual method. They have methods that are multifaceted. Castrate you by a birth control pill. Make murder, killing popular culture. Make blood smoking popular. Do you know people talk about weed come from the earth? But in fact, weed does come from the earth. But as children develop, it stunts your development mentally and intellectually. And so the younger that a weed, I'm doing the show on that soon, the younger the weed smoker is, the more likely that he will not develop into maturity of manhood as it relates to being responsible. Do you know that? Do you know that the true freedom fighters was in their 20s, not in their 40s like me? Do you know that the true freedom fighters didn't make it? Some of them didn't make it past 45. Do you know that? Because their mind was pure from a young age. But now our culture has been, man, they got weed dispensaries everywhere. Our culture has been taught that it's okay, that weed is from the ground, that weed is legal, that alcohol is good. But let me tell you, the younger the person is that that ingest these substances, make it less likely that this person would be a threat in business, that would be less likely be a threat in social endeavors, will less likely be a threat in economics, will less likely be a threat spiritually, will less, they disarm you before you even know the power that you have. You become disarmed before you even know the power that you have. And we sit up there and look at the Twerkin. We sit up there and engage one another with nonsense. Like I'm telling you, my show has always been to push the needle just a little bit. Shake it up just a little bit. Let them get mad. Listen, I'll put myself out there on Front Street. I'll put myself out there on Front Street. Let them attack my mama. Let them attack my children. Let them attack my grandmother, my children's mother. Let them attack that. They ain't doing nothing. Because we built strong. My family built strong. My children built strong. And they understand the mission. See, when Unity Hall opened and the tears came down my mother's face and down my sister's face, because she seen the community behind me and she seen the love that I have for the community, my mother ain't thinking about that. My peoples ain't thinking about that. And the efforts that I put forth, I'm just saying that you can duplicate it. Think about what I'm saying. This is just one of many of what we're going to be talking about. One of many of the shows that we're going to be talking about. We got to talk about some real issues. We got to talk about some real issues. Because while our children are twerking, while our children are rapping, I'm going to, Eric, while our children are twerking, while our children are rapping, and our children are beefing, little Japanese children are learning to play Beethoven on a string mini guitar called a violin. Little Chinese children are learning to express mathematics in ways that never been seen before. And little other children of different cultures around the world are learning skills to take their generation of people to the next level. And every time we see one of us do good, we congratulate, we go over the top, enjoy, because it appears to appears to me that we're not used to seeing us do good in droves. So if we see one become a doctor, he's a doctor. But if you go to India, there's many doctors. They look at education as a norm. We have become to look at education as, if I want to, I will. If I don't, I don't. African countries look at education as a way out of poverty. We look at it, oh, you trying to be white. Where did we get this from? So family, I got to go get the baby. So I'm not sure. Depends on how I feel. I just want to say, family, we got to do better. Because while our people twerking, rapping and beefing, other communities are getting suited and booted and being prepared for tomorrow. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Peace and love. Appreciate you. Please share as we go into another dynamic conversation about what the world is doing while we, or our people, are twerking, rapping, and beefing. Peace and love.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. Family, see y'all tonight, 9:30. Let's go.